Hi Scorpio, and welcome to the Mother Tressa channel. If you're already familiar with this space, then you already know what to expect, so welcome back. So glad to be interacting with your energy again. But if you are absolutely new to tarot and new to this space, then welcome in. Definitely feel free to be your most authentic self wherever you are, be it positive, negative, neutral, just curious. It really doesn't matter so long as you leave better than you came, okay? If the messages happen to resonate, do hit the thumbs up button and subscribe, but also hit the bell notification so that you're made aware as soon as I upload a video. All right. As I was preparing for your reading and I was shuffling the deck, I kept seeing the Four of Pentacles. So I already have that card lying out for you guys. And we'll just see how I am to continue to reference it and bring it into the spread and the overall message in its entirety here. But as the overlying energy, you guys have the Five of Wands that came out. So what I heard was tidying up with this Four of Pentacles energy, tying up loose ends as well. What also came out, you guys have the Two of Pentacles, followed by the Five of Swords, the Eight of Cups. Let's actually clarify this Eight of Cups energy because the number 8 vibrationally belongs to you guys. You have the Empress. Okay. All right. After the Empress, you have the Two of Cups that was hiding behind the Ace of Cups, which was behind the Queen of Swords. And the bottom of the deck is the Eight of Wands. The picture that came to mind just now as I was explaining those cards was the picture of Beyonce and Jay-Z at the Rock Nation brunch that just passed. And if I can figure out how to insert photos, I will try to insert the clip. But it's just funny because it's kind of like how you have that like overprotective mother female figure, you know, there to defend her young. So that's kind of what came through, or just set the record straight is what I'm also hearing. So that can be you guys for a lot of things. You heard the bell. All right, guys, sorry for the slight interruption. I silenced my phone for the remainder of your reading, so we won't be disrupted anymore. But yeah, you can be serving as that type of role, that like protective mother figure, which is coming through with the number 4, and that's speaking to the sign of Cancer in their house. You can be that protective, mothering, nurturing figure in somebody's life again, or somebody is maybe doing that with you, right? Some sort of role reversal. But I definitely get the sense that you guys are starting spring cleaning early with that tidying up that came through, like needing to declutter your space. Some of you guys are starting to put things into boxes because if you're living like in an apartment or something like that, you're towards the end of your lease, however you want to say that. And so you've already been like submitting applications into other residential properties. Maybe some of you guys, with this Five of Wands and this Two of Pentacles, you realize that your family is expanding. And I'm only saying that because the number 5 talks about the sign of Leo in their house, which houses children. So maybe your family is expanding, or you are at that point in your age, or just at that point in your partnership where you realize that you guys have the desire to potentially bring another child into the into the world. I was going to say room, so however that applies as well. But with this Four of Pentacles energy then, and then also with the Five of Swords and the Eight of Cups and the Empress, it's giving me the idea that you guys aren't really taking any preventative measures to keep that from happening, right? So you're not on birth control. Your man doesn't have a vasectomy. You guys are just kind of like open to a, let's just go with it. And if it happens, great. And if not, great. It's not gonna really stop what it is that we're doing or what it is that we're building. In the meantime, let's just continue to focus on our finances and focus on our empires or businesses if you guys work for yourselves and that type of thing. But I'm definitely seeing that. But as you realize that that could, again, be a possibility with the Two of Pentacles and taking that risk to not, you know, still use protection or what have you, then you realize that wherever you're living right now might not be able to meet the needs of like everyone, you know, like it's just too suffocating and or too small. Or if you don't have any children at all, and this is somewhat of an impulsive decision that you're kind of making, it's a risk that you're taking to just go ahead and move house, if you will, then this is just you trying to find the right fit at this time. But I definitely get the sense that some people already have a place secured with the Four of Pentacles energy, and so you're just going through the motions of like, again, like boxing up your space, putting everything in boxes, and looking at the things that you actually want to keep, anything that may have sentimental value, because Cancers can be sentimental. And again, I'm just speaking about that energy vibrationally that the Four speaks to. So looking at the things that have sentimental value, but not wanting to be a hoarder, you know, and trying to see what it is that you could potentially donate, whatever it is that you really don't necessarily need, right? It's not a necessity, because the Five of Swords will always tell you about where you are doing things in excess, right? And needing to be a little bit more modest here, or conservative, right? Minimalistic, if you will. So that's what's coming through with this energy. I definitely feel like things go well, though. It can be stressful having to move, especially if you're doing it by yourself. Also, that can be a thing if you're not in any sort of partnership, and maybe you don't have friends or family around to help you, so you kind of feel that pressure and the weight to do it all yourself. Like, it's okay, like, you're supported, you can find the right moving company, or if you have any friends or any people within your apartment complex that happen to walk by and you're needing some assistance, just don't be afraid to be like, hey, you know, it might be a little awkward, I know it's a little strange with the Swords energy that's coming through here for me to ask this of you, but if you wouldn't mind, I feel like this box is just a little too heavy, and I would appreciate if you could help me in moving this, or, you know, whatever, what have you, however the scenario could play out. Energy is there to support you in that, and you might make a friend out of that, you know, you never know. There's so much that can be left up to one's interpretation, and or to be determined with all of this energy that's here. Now, going back to the whole partnership and family and that factor or facet of your life, I feel like some of you guys are having those moments for sure, where if you are still in the state of being a maiden, and a maiden is just a woman that does not have children, or if you're a male and you're still single and you don't have children, but like that's kind of been one of your like hopes and dreams that maybe you don't necessarily vocalize with your friends and family, you know, because you don't want to be made fun of, or because you don't want to feel like you're conforming to society in the way that it operates, you know, and the expectations that people just have on people to procreate all together. Maybe you guys can be having some issues with that. But I definitely feel like you guys are having baby fever with all of this energy right now. Some of you guys are definitely ovulating. So if you know that right now you're just not at a place where you feel ready to have a kid or have a baby, even though that may be something that, again, your parents can be putting on you to have, like, where's my grandchild? Or your partner can be putting on you to have, like, okay, where do you see us in the next 4 months to the next year, you know? Do you see us having a kid? I really want a kid, especially if maybe you already have a kid and they don't. Those things can kind of come into play. There's a lot of variables here, you know what I mean? I apologize. I often start rambling and forget where I was going, but I said all that to say use protection if you know you're not ready. I want to bring up though, Scorpio, that since you guys are ruled by Pluto and also Mars, and you see some of that red trickled in throughout this spread here, that you are very careful with what it is that you profess with your mouth here, because it can very well come to pass. So just be very careful. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. But also, if other people have kind of been whispering in the ears of others, you know, and just spreading gossips and things that may not be true about you around town, then now is the time for you to learn how to do maybe a protection spell, or to drink more of those herbal teas that keep your auric field intact, because there are some people that know how to siphon energy out of other people, that really live to provoke others, because once you give that reaction, then you find yourself depleted of energy, right? And then you all of a sudden you feel tired, and sometimes you don't know how you can explain that, it's because you gave your power, which is something that you guys care about, right? That you guys rule that concept of power, but you gave it away to somebody that wanted that, you know what I mean? And then now you're having to figure out how you can recuperate with this cups energy. So just be very careful with who it is that you're sharing space with, who it is that you're also sharing your secrets with, because there are some people that can't hold water here and can very well, again, be going out and telling all these things that you told in confidence. And you know, once trust is betrayed, it's very hard to like salvage that type of relationship when it comes to you Scorpios. So just be very careful, again, with who it is that you might be dabbling with. If somebody's trying to do that type of work on you, be it an enchantment, right? To try to have you be more drawn in or attracted to them, even though naturally you know when you think on your own or have your own opinion of the person, you don't feel like there's any chemistry there. They can be trying to do some enchantments to entrap you, or again, they can be trying to do something to spite you because they see that you're just minding your own business and living your life, and they don't like that. Just know how important it is to be protected, be it with you saging your home, be it with you adding salt. I know my mom, she taught me one thing, but I always forget all of the ingredients. But it's salt, and I'll plug the rest of it because I'm going to ask her again what that is. It's salt and a mixture of something else, and you put it by your door so that those who try to cross over that threshold, they will either get very sick or you will find that they don't want to come in. You know, like you have to invite in negative energy. They have to get your approval first. So that's a way to like banish somebody away from your home. And it doesn't always mean that they are just a negative, nasty person that just does not have good intentions for you. It can just be they're having a bad day and that gets projected onto you, but then you carry that energy within your own space or within your own mind, right? Again, that sort of infiltration type of thing there. So just be very careful with how you do it, or if it's just in your prayers at night because you feel like you are being attacked in maybe your dream state, then just say those prayers, light those candles. You know, it can just be like just a normal spiritual bath to just rid yourself of any energy, again, that just has been attached to you, that's starting to weigh you down. It's a little too heavy and burdensome, but again, it doesn't belong to you, because naturally as water signs, what you need to understand here is that you can absorb other people's emotions, you can feel other people's pain, you know, and so it's very important, again, just in your own interactions, your mindfulness. If you already see that somebody's kind of like down and somber, I wouldn't go up to them and offer a hug, you know, because again, then that energy is contagious, so it starts to attach onto you, leaves a scent. So just be very careful in the way that you provide assistance at this time. But otherwise, I see everything else is going well. If you are not yet in love, but that's something that you hope for or just have been thinking a lot more about, then just be very specific with what it is that you're wanting to call into your life and invite into your life, and just how compatible you want that person to be, as far as how well they match up with your own morals, principles, your rules, you know, ideologies, if they're into the same things that you are into, if they enjoy the same activities that you do, you know, if that's important. Just make sure you're very specific with what it is that you're thinking about when it comes to love and the next experience or sensation that you need to feel, so that when it comes into your life with this Eight of Wands, when you manifest it here with that energy, it's something that feels right, and it's not something that's just spur of the moment or something that kind of catches you off guard. Something that you are actually prepared for and that you can handle if you are mature enough for it. If you know that you're not, then I would just put your attention and your focus elsewhere. Focus on the areas, again, that may be a little bit more disorganized, or just that you can tell that you've abandoned or neglected in some way over the last week or few weeks or months here. That's going to be something that you should just tend to at this time, more so than anything else. So that's what's coming through, Scorpio. If this reading resonated, definitely give me a thumbs up. Subscribe again if you haven't. Book with me should you need to. But if I don't hear from you, then please just take care of yourself and your soul until you hear from me again. Ciao.